I'm Drew Bourgeois. I'm going to show you guys how to make chicken chasseur, which is a classic French dish with a bunch of simple flavors. And it translates to in the style of the hunter. So back in the day, hunters would kill chickens and they'll prepare it this way. So what we need right here is chicken, which has dark meat, flour, salt and pepper, basil, parsley, 2 Romano tomatoes, 1 shallot, some white wine, chicken stock. And your tools were going to be fork, spoon for nappe, spatula, chef knife, paring knife. Got a pan with some canola oil heating up, and some hot water right here for concassé tomatoes, and an ice bath ready to roll. So we're going to start off with our chicken, and be sure to have gloves so you know everything's safe, and flour. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to season the flour with some fresh black pepper and some salt. Before you spread in the flour, however, you want to pound out your chicken so it cooks a little bit faster and a little bit more evenly. Now, you can use a mallet, or like I do, just kind of mash with your fingers, your fist a little bit. Nothing too fancy, just try not to beat it up too much. Do the same with the other piece of dark meat, which is thigh meat you could buy at the store, which I prefer white meat because dark meat is a little bit more juicier. Flour. And then slowly dredge both sides, rub in, and do the same thing with this chicken. Just get a pretty good coating, and let it drip. So go over here to our oil, which we have preheating already, and place your chicken. And while that's browning, we're going to clean up a little bit, and I'm going to get into prepping my other things. So, because you have raw chicken, pretty much just going to want to get rid of this cutting board, or do what I'm going to do, which is take some hot soapy water, brush it off real good. End it off, flip, and I have paper towels here to prevent sliding of the board, so it's a little bit more safer. So I hear my chicken browning over here, and the key is you do not want to move it too much once it's been hit in the pan, otherwise you're not going to get a good crust or sear on it. But anyway, that's still got a little ways to go. So right now I'm going to take 2 Romano tomatoes and our paring knife, and these are going to go in an ice bath. And what you want to do is you want to make an X on the top, like so, and then the same. And these can drop in the water. They're only going to drop in for about 2 minutes, not very long at all. I believe our chicken is ready for a flip. I'll leave this to camera girl. Tongs would be nice, but in my feast I forgot to pack them. So let that brown up some more. And I'm going to show you guys how to chop up our shallot, which is coming in next. Take off that top, and this bottom right here. You can use onions if you want, but I prefer shallots just because it sounds fancier and tastes better in my opinion. And just a small dice is fine, or if you like it chunky, you can do chunky. It's really personal preference. But what you want to do is make slits all along. And I am not wearing gloves right now because I find gloves are very hard to chop with. No, it's not very safe, and when I start handling food again, I will be putting a new pair of gloves on. Shuffle and just make it insert right there, and just come across. And if you need pieces are a little too big, you can always just take back and come across like so. point, our tomatoes are definitely done. So we're going to pull them out of the water. Slide them into the ice bath to stop the cooking process. Also, while we're here, our chicken's ready for another flip. Getting good golden brown on that. Come back and flip it one more time. Shut this right here. Now, in Bobby Flea's recipe, there's also tarragon instead of basil, but I was taught to use basil, and I like basil a little bit better. He also has cognac instead of white wine, but I'm using a Chardonnay, which I like to taste better as well. And cognac wasn't always available back in the day when this recipe originated, so that's why I'm not using it. Pair of gloves right quick. While we're doing that, I have the calories over here, which you get about 10 calories from fat, and we're up to 70 calories from protein, and then another 10 for carbs. So it's not the healthiest dish, but it's not really bad either. If you don't want good flavor, you gotta sacrifice. But my audience doesn't really care about that. Thank them for coming again, Julie and Jacob. It's ready for another flip. Getting there. A little oil pop. Now our tomatoes are ready. Water up. Now, because of the water in the slits, the skin should come right off. Really, and tomato concasse is basically just a fancy way of saying seeded and diced tomatoes. Also, if I had mushrooms, I would be slicing them now and getting them ready for saute, but one of our audience people is kind of allergic, so we had to skip them for now. But you would just brown them the same time as the shallots. Same thing for the other tomato. And you really don't even have to do this. I just find it a little bit easier. It's kind of how I was taught. Definitely hear our chicken ready for another flip. So what you want to do for dicing these tomatoes is come half and then half again. Be careful, these are a little slippery, but they're good flavor. You can use actually any Creole tomato you want as well, but I use Romano because I like Italian style tomatoes. And to seed them, you just kind of come under with the knife. Like so. So we're going to be doing that all the time. But this recipe is really easy to do. It's actually the very first recipe they taught us in culinary school. And I didn't do so well my first time, believe it or not, because I screwed up. But when the final came around, I chose to do this one again, and I actually got 100 on that final, so I learned my lesson. I recommend a paring knife just because it's small and easy to use. But really, no knife is a special knife. Here, our chicken again. This is about the color you want, where it has like golden brown flakes on it. And at this point, take it out and store it someplace.